Hello, motherfuckers. Hello to my ballerinas, and welcome back to my channel or to my website. If you are watching this episode of my or listening to this podcast episode on my website, coriel.com. Thanks so much for coming back wherever you're tuned in from or listening right now. I am very happy to have you here. If you are listening to me right now, you are now tuned in to Bills Be Speaking. Damn, how many times have I said tuned in? I am your host, the owner and creator of this podcast show, Coriel, aka Bells. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed and your notification bell is turned on. And again, if you're watching on Coriel.com, make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter, my email newsletter. It's the first thing that pops up and prompts you as soon as you load the website. All you do is enter your name and your email address, and that puts you on the list so you can be notified first when everything like a new episode like this drops or comes out, as well as new music, my new music videos, all that good stuff, all my new stuff. The newsletter gets updated first, and then of course if you have my post notification bell turned on YouTube, you'll be notified as soon as I upload there as well. Disclaimers. I'm gonna make a few disclaimers before I get into the topic of this episode. The first disclaimer is I do cuss. So if you don't like profanity and profane language, go ahead and click off of this episode, click off of this podcast. You're not going to want to hear it. It's not appropriate for you. It's not a good fit for you. My second disclaimer is if you are listening wearing headphones, I suggest that you set the volume at a comfortable level where it's loud enough for you to hear me, but it's not too loud to where if I get loud, like I start speaking louder because I'm more passionate, I'm feeling more passionate, or it's getting intense, the message is getting intense. Because if you've been here for a couple episodes, and you know by now that sometimes the message gets intense, or I just get intense with how I'm talking. Just make sure your headphones is at a comfortable volume level, so that way you won't have like no jump scare on your ears. And then my last disclaimer is, speaking of headphones, if you are listening around a sensitive audience, like sensitive listeners, like children or elderly people, quiet area or something, whatever the case may be, I do suggest that you put headphones on just to be considerate, of the people that are around you, who may not want to hear what you're listening to, regardless of what it is. They may not want to hear all that. I suggest you put headphones on. Okay. So, for this episode, what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to share with you, guys and gals and goldfishes, I'm going to share with you all what a little part of like my mental process is for you to try out, to do for yourself, to see how you like it in your own life, for when you start to feel behind, when you start feeling behind. Especially if you are someone like me who is a very goal-oriented person, a success-oriented person, a progress, evolution-driven person. Like you're somebody that stay on track, you take yourself seriously, you're always reaching new heights, accomplishing new things, so on and so forth. Like, if you fit into this category based on those things that I'm saying, sometimes you may feel like you're behind or like you've fallen behind, especially as a high achiever. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's the word. That's the proper term. High achievers like myself, okay, who we self-govern, and we hold ourselves accountable, and we stay on ourselves, because we're always analyzing ourselves more than anything or anybody else. Not like picking ourselves apart, but we know ourselves. Like, we pay attention to us. Like, we know to be a highly productive and like high performing person. Most people that fall into those categories are self-governing, self-analyzing people. Because you need to master yourself. Or it's not even just need to, it's that you want to. All of that being said, okay, you get the point. Especially being that way, I feel like we're prone to feeling that way sometimes, especially if we have really high standards for ourselves, or if we always have been held to high standards throughout life. And so we've kept them or kept planning to them on our own as adults. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, you focus on yourself and you feel like you're falling behind, you feeling down on yourself, you might be feeling frustrated. Like if you like me, I get frustrated if I feel like I'm behind on stuff. I'm going to share with y'all, again, like I said, a little part of my mental process for you to take home with you and start practicing in your own life so you can relieve that pressure, that stress, that frustration that you may be feeling when your mind starts ruminating or going towards that way. Okay? So first things first is you're going to be asking yourself and reflecting on all these things in your mind. Oh, before I even get into that, I want to say, despite how I just described everything, it may have sounded kind of like the tone of my voice kind of oh my goodness, the tone of my gut. The tone of my voice may have made it sound like it was a negative thing, all of those things that I just said. But that's not necessarily what I'm trying to say or what I'm implying. I'm just listing out different things that it may be, okay? Kudos to you and congratulations to you if you are like myself and you do those things. And it may not be all of them, it may be just a few, but you self-govern and you even find yourself feeling behind and beating yourself up or feeling down on it, because that shows that you care about yourself. Okay, beating yourself up, that don't mean beat yourself up like internally. That don't mean that you care about yourself. There's another way to do it. I mean, it does. It's coming from a good place, but there's a better way that you can do it. And we'll get into that. But that means that you care about yourself. Because if you didn't give a fuck about yourself, you wouldn't be striving. You wouldn't be working on nothing. You wouldn't be governing yourself. You wouldn't be doing nothing but minding other people's business and wasting your time, wasting your potential. If you're trying, if you're doing, you're making the effort and you're doing the thing and you know what I'm saying? You are feeling this way because you know that there's more for yourself. You feel like you owe it to yourself and you need to do it to make your dreams come true. It could just be to maintain, but it could also be to expand and just grow into the person that you want to be and reach your goals. Kudos to you. Again, you care about yourself. It's okay to feel this way every now and then because it means that you're paying attention. It means that you care. It means you're self-governing. It means you minding your business, and it means that you're tending to it. Because I'm sure that you're thinking about, as soon as you start thinking about how you behind, a list of different things start popping up in your head of what you need to be doing or what you should have did instead. And that's okay because we're going to get to that point. But I also want to reiterate too, before I get into the episode or the points that I'm going to list, don't be feeling like you behind because you comparing yourself to other people. Okay? I touched on this in one of my last episodes, but don't be comparing yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you are and who you want to be, who you know you want to be. Be comparing yourself to the version of yourself that you said you was going to be this year, that you said you was going to be this quarter. Make sure that it's an internal you versus you or you alongside you, if anything, type of thing. Not a you versus, what they showing on Instagram and what they showing in this music video or what they have in this movie or what they got next door. No, tunnel vision, you only. Okay? Now, after you give yourself some credit for even coming to this place right now where you are feeling like you're behind because you're assessing your progress, you're assessing your evolution, you checking in with yourself. The first thing you want to ask yourself inside is, how would I feel if I was on the right track or if I was ahead? Okay? Identify that feeling because you're so heavily identified with the feeling of feeling behind that you either then forgot what it feels like to be ahead or you've never felt like what it feels like to be ahead. You've never even tried to imagine what it feels like to be ahead because you so hard, dead set, or so heavily feeling that you behind. Give yourself some space. Just woosah, rebalance your emotions, rebalance your feelings, ground your energy. That's what I mean by rebalance. Rebalance, recalibrate, center yourself, okay? And then from there, once you're in that clear, stabilized energy state, clear mind frame state, now you able to look around and give yourself the space to not only ask these questions, but play around with different feelings that you actually want. Entertain the feeling of what you actually want. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, that in this case is, how would it feel to be ahead? Not necessarily what would you have if you were ahead. Not necessarily what would be accomplished by now if you were ahead or if you were on track. How would it feel? Would it feel tense? Would your body feel tense and would you feel like you got a bunch of pressure in your shoulders, or would you feel relaxed? Would you feel like you got a ball in your stomach, and would you be clenching your booty cheeks and clenching your jaw every 5 seconds? If you notice right now, pay attention. Are you clenching your jaw? Are your toes balled up? Are your fists balled up? Like, do you feel like you squeezing because you stressed out and you walking on? Do you feel like you walking on eggshells? Okay, then that's how it feels to be behind. Would you feel that same way if you were ahead? Would you feel tension in your chest and feel like you walking on eggshells if your bills was paid up for the next 6 months straight? Probably not. More than likely not. You would feel more ease and peace and relaxation in your vessel. You still doing what you need to do. You still gonna get up and wash your ass every day. You still gonna get up and go to the grocery store. You still gonna get up and go to work if you got a job or a career that you like and that you want to do, and that you enjoy doing. Or you may not want to just quit your job just because your bills is paid up for 6 months. So you still working, but you ain't got that stress and your tension in you when you driving to work, because you like, oh shit, I gotta be on time. And if you calculating how many minutes of behind on the clock you didn't miss if you an hourly person, and you you know what I'm saying, whatever, like how the mental activity would be different. I'm not even gonna go off into different examples of what could be going on through your head, because it could be a million different things going through your head while you driving to work because you so stressed out. You stressing on your way to work. You stressing while you at work. You stressing on your way home from work. You frustrated and irritated because you in traffic, and you tired and you ready to go to sleep, and you ready to hurry up and get back, and the traffic is cut into your sleep time because you got to turn right back around and wake back up in the morning because you got to work a double. That's how all of that stuff is how you would be feeling if you were, or how you feeling when you are behind. Put that to the side. Okay, we're going to ignore that. How would you be feeling if you were ahead? In an alternate reality, an alternate version of you, an alternate, play out. If things were to be playing out differently right now, how would you feel on your way home, in the car, on the way home from work, in traffic, as the version of you whose bills is paid up for the next 6 months? 6 months. Like, you still irritated about the traffic, more than likely. It's still probably like, I'd rather not have that traffic. I'd rather not. But do you feel as much of an urgency? Like, can you let the urgency be, like, could you let the urgency wash away and know that it's not, that doesn't mean that you're giving up putting the pep in your step and having the discipline to do what needs to be done, but you can release that extra grippingness, that ness. Sometimes, like, I can't even put it into words, but you know how it feels. You can release that feeling because you won't be feeling like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't be that way. Can you start playing around and doing little things like that now? Like, telling yourself little things like, ooh, it's been a good day. It's been a good week. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you do little things like that to play with yourself and play make-believe, kind of, if you will, like, or to at least trick yourself into feeling that way now? Because the more you feel like that, the more you feel like that. Okay? That's the first part. The next thing is, After you identify how you would feel if you was on track, and you start consistently feeling that way, because like I said, the more you feel like that, the more you feel like that, whether you're just playing around with the feeling or not. Allowing yourself to continuously feel like you are ahead, regardless of what's actually going on in the, just to keep it simple, in the real world, in the world around you. You feel you behind. It's stressful right now. Life is life on you. Okay, we get that. Can you kind of like just ignore that for now? Like, that don't mean you turn a blind eye to it or avoiding responsibilities or nothing like that. Obviously, still use your discernment and do what you need to do. Like I just said, you on your way home from work, right? But you don't have to let it consume the feelings in your vessel either. You can just be like, you know what? Shoot, it'll get paid. I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna enjoy this ride. It's a nice breeze coming outside. Shit, what the hell stressing gonna do for me? Stressing ain't gonna make nothing, speed nothing up or nothing. If anything, it's gonna slow it down. Can you play around with feelings like that right now? Until you can work yourself up to the feeling of like you ahead and you ain't got nothing to worry about. And then once you start feeling like that, you practice that feeling and practice staying in that feeling as best as you can, coaching yourself back to it. Like I said in my last episode, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Everything is okay. It'll be okay. When you give yourself them pep talks, that's what I'm saying. Can you pep talk yourself into feeling like you're ahead? Like, that's what the pep talk needs to be. Change the mental chatter into that. Because that's what I be having to do. When I start feeling like I'm behind, I'm like, okay, first of all, if I keep focusing on feeling like I'm behind, all I'm going to do is that feeling is just going to grow more and more and more and more and more. Let me focus on the feeling that I actually want to feel. I don't want to feel behind. I want to feel like I'm right on track. I want to feel like I'm on it. I want to feel like I'm doing my thing. It's good. Okay, so then let me start thinking about that. Simple. I don't want this. What do I want? I want to feel like I'm on track. I want to feel like I'm ahead. I want to feel like everything is good. I want to feel like this. Okay, now I'm deciding that I feel this way. So since I feel this way now, what can I do differently that shows that? What can I stop feeling like? What can I stop thinking about? What can I think about instead? How can I relax more in this moment right now while still doing what I need to do, whatever the case may be? How can I still do what I need to do but relax more? How can I let the tension go that may be trying to build up in my vessel and build up in my shoulders? Like, how can I stop trying to do the heavy lifting that don't even need to be done because I know it's already taken care of and I know it's already going to work out? Just for context, I only put down 3 different points. So I just explained point 1. Now we're moving on to point 2. And after point 2, it'll be point 3. And then that'll be the end of the episode. Okay. So point 2 is... define one good thing you can do right now. Ask yourself, identify within yourself, find out, figure out what's one thing that would make me feel that way right now. What's one thing I can do right now? What's one thing that'll make me feel that like I'm ahead and I'm on track right now? Okay, ask yourself, what would it take for me to feel like I was finally ahead and on track right now? How can I do that? What is it? Get clear on it. And it should be at least one good step. Like the minute you ask yourself that, different ideas is going to start coming to your head. Let your brain start to do its thing. Let it start to brainstorm. Let it start to work. Because different ideas is going to start coming up. When you ask your brain a question, it's going to give you an answer. Multiple answers. Now, if you have been thinking negatively for a long time, your internal chatter might be very negative and pessimistic. Your job is to let that sort through that stuff. And if it's something negative that come up, like a negative response, be like, nope, that ain't it. Let another thought come through. Because another one will come through. Another idea will come through. You got to sort through like you sorting through a needle, like sorting through a haystack looking for a needle. Your job is to let them come up. Sort through the negative ones that feel heavy on you. Don't be letting your mind play tricks on you or tell you bad things just because you've been thinking, it's been programmed to do that because you be thinking so negatively and being so pessimistic all the time. You'll know if it's a bad thought because of the way it makes you feel. You'll know if it's a bad idea because of the way it makes you feel. If you don't have that problem, then great, cool. This part don't apply for you. But some people are, a little bit more behind than others, and that's okay. One thing I want to say is, even though I said to sort through what comes up, if it's like a negative idea or something, or a bad thought, like a bad feeling thought, sort through them, but be careful to not shoot your own ideas down too much. Be careful not to do the thing of like talking yourself out of something. If it's a good idea, let it be a good idea. Try not to be shooting your own ideas down so much, like, oh no, that's not gonna work. Leave the pessimism behind you. Again, you ain't gotta be no fucking Dr. Seuss character, fake happy, walking around here smiling place to place, like trying to fake happiness. You don't gotta do that, but you can't be like, oh, that ain't gonna work, and feeling down and out about everything neither. Because if you say everything ain't gonna work, then yeah, you eliminating all your options. So again, find that balance point for you, okay? If you shoot all your ideas down, not only is you not gonna have no ideas to choose from, but all it's gonna do is depress you. And it's going to sadden you, and it's going to make you frustrated, and it's going to make you feel more stuck, and it's just going to make you want to procrastinate more and more. If every time you get an idea or you get the inkling of what you need to do, if you turn yourself down or shoot it down and don't do it, all you're doing is keeping yourself stuck and wrapping yourself up in the web. Can't be doing that. You got to find the balance point, okay? I don't know what the balance point is for you. Only you know that. And if you don't know, feel your way there, okay? Once you figure that thing out, it may be a few things that come to mind. Go do that thing. Okay? Once you get the idea of what you could do right now, after you ask yourself the question, what could I do right now that'll make me feel like I'm ahead on track? What's one good thing? You get that idea. You get a few of those ideas. Put them into your schedule. Put them in your notes. Do it right. Even if sometimes you ain't even got to put something in your notes or in no schedule to go do it. You just go do it right now. Go do it right now. Okay? Of course, again, as long as it ain't hurting yourself, hurting nobody else, I'm not telling y'all to go do no stupid, nefarious, painful, violent, crazy things. You should know that that's not what this is talking about. But again, I got to make this disclaimer. A lot of people's listening to this video. Okay? As long as it's a good thing, a common sense thing, use your discernment. Go do that thing. Even if it's like random. If it's like, go buy a pan from the store, go buy the pan. Go buy this, go do that, go sign up for this, go fill out this form for your business. Do like you might, whatever the inkling is for you. Go. You know what? I need to take some pictures. I need to get some headshots done. I need to do that. Okay, if you need the one thing that you could do right now to make you feel like you ahead and on track, is you need to get your headshots done and have them uploaded to your website or to an agency or something. Okay, find you a good photographer. Now your next step is find you a photographer that do headshots in your area. Boom, that's your next step. Your phone right there in your hand. Get to it. You ain't got to put it in your notes. Go to your Explore page if you're on social media. Look up photographers near me. Go to Google, photographers near me. That's your next step. Do it right now. Not in 5 minutes, not tomorrow, not later after I take a right now. I'm about to find a photographer that's doing my headshots. And better yet, I got $50 left from my check. I was going to give me some Chipotle, but instead I'm going to pay the deposit for I'm going to go ahead and just pay the deposit for the photo shoot and eat some noodles. Boom. Done. Now you done got a goddamn photo shoot booked, and next week or 2 weeks from now, that quick, within three to 5 minutes of pondering, doing internal question and answering process and trusting yourself. You know what I'm saying? And boom, now you got the next thing scheduled. So now your next thing is you need to be getting ready for this photo shoot in 2 weeks. Do you need to call off? Do you need to do you want to schedule an Uber for that day if you don't have a car? Do you have something to wear? Do you have the rest of the money for you know what I'm saying? Like, now there's other things that your mind can focus on, and you've given your brain like extra steps that you can actionable steps that you can take, rather than just sitting there in the feeling of feeling behind. You ain't feeling behind now if you actively doing something. Like, it's really hard to feel bad and good at the exact same time about the exact same thing. If I'm up and at 'em and active and doing something for something, you know what I'm saying? Like, doing something for something that I want to do or that I am doing. It's hard to feel behind when I'm actively doing the thing. But if I'm just sitting there letting myself just feel behind and feel down and out and avoiding doing what I need to do for it or whatever, then yeah, you're going to keep feeling like that. But not if you start asking these questions, not if you let those ideas come to your mind on what you could do right now that could make you feel like you on track or make you feel like you ahead or like you getting ahead. Your brain is tricked into, okay, now we're doing things, now we're taking action. Okay? That's my point number 2. And then my last point for this episode on what to do when you feel behind, or a reminder for when you're feeling behind. Okay, this reminder, my last point is to remember that it's not a race and that it's not a competition. Even with the example of an actress, which would be the entertainment industry. Even if you are in the sports industry, even no matter what industry you're in, no matter what competition there is, like in other words, competitors, other people that's doing the same thing as you, other people that want the same thing as you. So what? It's not a competition. It's not a race. You are in your own lane. It will be okay. It's definitely not a race. Going back to what I said about for me to reference to what I said earlier about comparing yourself to other people's timelines. Again, that's a great way to tie that into what I'm saying right now. You can't race with somebody that you're not on the same timeline on. You new to this. You only a few years in. This person years and years and years in. This person he's in the middle. This, like, everybody's backstory is different. Obviously, there's going to be similarities, but everybody is different. Everybody's story is unique in its own way for a reason. We don't need to be rushing against each other, even if everybody is going for the same spot, for the same role. So what? There's more roles. There's always going to be money on this planet going around, always. So there's always going to be another role that you can get booked or paid for. And that don't even mean that you won't get the role that you want. But there's no shortage of roles. I mean, I know that there's on the 3D level, there's the Hollywood strike and stuff like that. Like, yes, you're always going to be able to find examples of things that, like being in lack. But if you choose to focus on that, then you choose to focus on that. I would suggest not. I would suggest focusing on the fact of the matter being that there will always be more opportunities, and there will always be more opportunities for you. Like, remember and remind yourself, or, start building this belief in yourself that you will always be provided for, shown up for, and you will always have what you need. That includes your business, that includes your goals. Get familiar with that feeling, which also requires you to not be focused on feeling behind, because you can't be focused on feeling like you behind and like, you need to do more, things ain't working out, whatever, however specific the feeling might be for you. You can't be feeling like that if you're spending all your time feeling like everything is okay. There's always enough. There's always going to be enough for you. And you're going to get roles. You're going to get roles that you like. You're going to get clients. You're going to get sales. You're going to get whatever it is for you. If you feeling like it's going to work out, you in your own lane, you doing right, and, reminding yourself that what I need to do right now is focus on the next step, then you're always going to be led to the fulfillment of the desire, or not the desire, fulfillment of the need that you have, regardless of how many people are going for the role, whether you get that role or not, whether you get hired on that team, whether this job hires you or not, whether this person purchases and you get that sale or not. Like, there's always going to be more. Another team, another customer, another sale, another role. Shit, you might even start making your own roles up. Like, you don't know how it'll work out, because you don't have to know. You just got to know that it will. And remind yourself of that when you start feeling behind, because once you remind yourself of that fact, then you'll remember, no matter where I'm at, there's always an opportunity for me here. There's always a good thing for me here that I can do, that I can work on. There's always something good for me where I am, no matter whether I'm behind or feel like I'm on track. And if I do, I know all I got to do is think of at least one good thing, and that'll get me right back on track. And by me being back on track, once I feel like I'm back on track, whether it's for a small amount of time or whatever, that means things are flowing in. That means steps that I need to take, opportunities, whatever. Like opportunities that correspond to the next step that I need to take. You know, it's going to show up for me because the path has to unfold. So those are the 3 things that I would remind you or suggest for you to consider, and, you know, things for you to at least let yourself begin to ruminate on if you like them, because they have helped me a lot. Like, I talk myself through things in my mind always, because we're always talking to ourselves in our head. I don't care what nobody say. I don't think anybody's mind is silent. I just use my mind constructively and in a way that is going to benefit me by talking myself and coaching myself through things. It's not productive for you to just be sitting there feeling like you behind or feeling like everybody passing you up, something's going wrong. No, because no matter where you at, life is still going to be going on around you. So even if you are behind, wherever you are on your timeline right now, if you feel like that, I guarantee you there's opportunities around for you that you can create for yourself or that can come to you based on where you are right now. But again, going back to what this whole episode about, that takes for you to stop concentrating on feeling behind and choose to concentrate on feeling like you ahead. Literally, in your vessel, in your mind, all of that. Going back to point 1, choosing to feel that way and letting yourself, you know, soak in that feeling. Once you do that, it's like that'll open up the flow. That'll open up the levee gates of the flow for you to get back on the track of the flow and feeling like you ahead. Because when you feeling behind, you just all closed off, shut down. You ain't flowing nowhere. You feel stuck. So choose to stop feeling stuck. Let yourself just, relax, woosah. Point 1, allow yourself to feel on track. Allow yourself to feel ahead. Allow yourself to feel like everything is okay. Going back to what I said in my last episode. And yeah, watch this as many times as you need to. I love you that love me, that's watching. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. You got this. I got this. Okay? It's okay. It's okay. Everything will be okay. As long as you're a good person, taking care of yourself, minding your business, it's okay. It's okay to feel like you behind every now and then. Just don't stay there. Okay? Give yourself credit for what you've done. I've touched on that in one of my recent episodes as well. Give yourself credit for how far you've come, and remind yourself that, it's not a competition. You shouldn't be feeling behind because of where you are at your point in your journey is different in comparison to somebody else's. Don't be doing that. It's a different scale. Everybody's reality and timeline has a different scale on it. So just pay attention to yours. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're on the email newsletter. I said that at the beginning, but I'm going to remind you again at the end. I love you that loves me. And, I'll see y'all on the next episode. Mwah, 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 mwah. Toodles.